Hello, everyone. This is Jim Ogrozinski with your weekly lecture video. So, in this week's lecture video, I will review the discourse narrative essay assignment that is due Sunday, end of day. Everybody's been working diligently on the discussion boards, building into the discourse narrative. I hope it's a step-by-step process and a gradual progression into the discourse narrative. I've looked over many of the posts in discussion board number 4, and everybody seems to be building off their work in discussion board number 3. Hopefully a topic will emerge, and let's us move to the discourse narrative assignment. So I think the purpose here is to discover and explore relevant issue within a discourse community in your life. You'll write hopefully about a discourse community, and perhaps maybe you'll get some insight into a day-to-day way a discourse community operates in your day-to-day life. So the audience here is your classmates and me, the instructor. So you're just writing a 1,000-word exploratory essay meeting the following expectations. So as I say here, building on your discussion board posts, identify a discourse community and provide a brief history of your participation in that community. And I would use that as your introduction. So many people are writing about their place of employment. How did you come about that job? Why do you consider it to be a discourse community? If you, in fact, believe that this discourse community, has been around for a while. You might want to provide just a little bit of history of where you work, what you consider it, well, why you should say you consider it to be a discourse community, and then along with your history. So that could really serve to set the stage, and that could be your introduction there. So how does your discourse community conform to the definition? And this is Swale's definition. Have it right here. I want to know the how and the why it conforms to the basic values and assumptions and ways of communicating about goals. Swales defined discourse communities as groups that have goals and purposes and uses communication to achieve those goals. So I think it's really important to look at exactly how your discourse community achieves those goals. And then after you move on from the definition, then in what ways does your discourse community meet the 6 criteria offered by Swales? And I say here, provide examples. So, you have a broadly agreed set of common public goals. I think in the discussion boards it was brought up that Porter perhaps suggested that, or one of the other sources of an alternative definition of a discourse community suggested you don't have to have the same goal, but you just have goals within the discourse community to accomplish something that the individual might want to accomplish, right? So the mechanisms of intercommunication among its members, how do you communicate? How do they go about it? Is it verbal? Is it written? How do members communicate? Participatory mechanisms to provide information and feedback. And this is really how do the actual members communicate? Is there a posting on a website, for example, or is there a board at your place of work that has all the relevant information on that board for people to keep checking? We have one when I work for the White Sox in the summer at the ballpark. We have a board that posts all the current information for all the employees, especially for us supervisors. We have a board where they post daily attendance and promotions and things that we need to be aware of. So we have meetings that talk about all the strategies for the day. So it's important that every discourse community, especially if you're looking at it through your job as being a discourse community, how do you go about communicating? How do you go about providing information and feedback? Some more corporations are going to some sort of a scheduling app where messages are exchanged. Those are just some of the genres there that you can work through and think about in your meeting the criteria. Here's some examples, right? Utilizes and possesses one or more genres in the communication furtherance of its aims. It's pretty much what I've just kind of like covered there. What are just genres and do they use? And they have a specific language or lexis, right? Are there ways of referring to aspects that everybody understands in the discourse community, or certain things, the way things are done. The medical field, for example, might have a specific way of referring to processes or procedures that have to be executed. So there's a way you want to explain that with examples. And also that the members have a suitable degree of relevant content and discoursal expertise. Every discourse community, even in the employment area, from fandom or car community, there is a way to communicate your expertise, your knowledge, and it usually conveys some sort of authority, right? So there are certain examples that you can think of. You might have to make a pass through at least once or twice to get some sort of an idea. You might have to do a lot of brainstorming. If you have somebody you know in your discourse community, certainly you can consult with them and compare notes and how they may view it to help you through like an act of discovery to find out a little bit more perspective on your discourse community. So I say here, since the title of the assignment is Discourse Narrative, my expectation is a narrative organizational structure using a chronological ordering of your history, then moving through the prompts. As Ballinger emphasizes in the introduction on page 9, I expect the use of first person. Please don't overdo it. And also, I want to make sure that everybody's clear then. You have to have drop your document into the discourse narrative folder, grab the GDoc link from that document, and you're going to want to upload that here where it says assignment uploads, discourse narrative upload. Click on that, write submission, and copy and paste your GDoc link here in the open text editor box, and then click submit. All right, so I think that would be important. Also, what I've done here for everyone, you have the slide presentation with the information. One of my students from my 7 a.m. virtual class typed up what she calls a functional outline for the essay. So her particular discourse community that she is writing about is K-pop. So she has some information here about the intro, the body paragraph, and even use the 6 criteria in here to kind of guide her along in writing this particular essay. And then ultimately the conclusion, where you have to develop a research question about your discourse community and what you want to learn by performing some research. Any kind of research would be the conclusion, right? So you want to make sure that you do develop a research question, and what you would want to learn by performing that research would be your conclusion. Think of something that you want to learn more about that discourse community, right? So that being said, this is the discourse narrative assignment. The copy of the outline is in the discourse narrative essay folder. Right here is your outline. I've got the the slide presentation there is for your reference. And let me get out of this and cancel. Make sure that you get, let me get the course units here. Sorry. Here, and pay close attention to the submission guidelines, right? All right, so make sure that you log into the course folder. Need a refresher on a Google Drive. The links and information are all here right below the essay assignment in our unit in Blackboard. All right, that being said, if you have any questions, you know where to find me. Good luck. Stay safe out there.